We are live. What's happening? A crypto farm. Happy Tuesday. Good morning and welcome back to Love for Crypto. I'm Scott and it's a pleasure to have you here. Whether you're about to tune in live or you're tuning in the future, I appreciate you taking the time out to consume the content. So thank you. So an article this morning, XRP architect David Schwartz denies being Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto, says he's selling his BTC portfolio. Ooh, want to read through this. There's probably still be people speculate. Oh, people bounced in. Guys, I'm about to read through XRP architect David Schwartz denies being Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto. He says he's selling his Bitcoin portfolio. We'll go a little deeper into it and move on into other subjects after this, but I'm just finding this extremely interesting. And it makes me wonder, like, are people going to take this now, or are they going to be like, well, no, I still think he's Satoshi. I think most people think Arthur Brito is Satoshi. Morning Ramirez, morning Hayes, morning everyone else, morning Boo, morning the people. If you don't worry if you don't comment, if you're a lurker, as Steve likes to walk, more on a browser, morning, I appreciate you being here. Let me get into it a little bit. So Ripple's Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz says he's not Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto. Do people think we should even know who it is? Like, should we know who it is? Do we have the right to know who it was? In response to questions posted on Twitter regarding whether he's responsible for building a Bitcoin network, Schwartz says he didn't find out about Bitcoin until 2011, 2 years after BTC came into existence. Schwartz, who is one of the original architects of the XRP ledger, believes it's more likely Bitcoin's pseudonymous architect was actually a small group of people rather than a single person. I think it's more plausible that Satoshi was a small group of people, given that the wide set of skills displayed and the amount of work done. It could have been one person, but that seems somewhat unlikely to me. Well, if you watch the Bitcoin documentary we used to have on the channel that got took down, it got banned, that actually did mention the cyberpunks and the cyberpunks, whatever you want to call them, a group of people making the white paper to Bitcoin Gold, and then Bitcoin come out of it. Satoshi was one of them people. Now, yeah, it could have been 1, 2, 3, 4 people, but Schwartz also says he's been slowly selling his Bitcoin for several years, though he's still bullish on BTC overall. He says the riskiness of the asset has convinced him to sell. So the riskiness of BTC has convinced David Schwartz to start selling it at certain prices. I made a brew this morning, and as I finished it, I'm like, put my sugar in that. Just put my sugar in that. And instead of tasting it like a normal fucking person, I just put 3 sugars in. I've got a pint of cappuccino with 6 sugars. Fuck's sake. It's like getting smacked off the fucking sugar alarm. Morning Steve, morning PCXRP, morning Level Playing Field. Who could have this group created Bitcoin? I'll get on to that in a minute. I'll try and get them up. They're called the Cyberpunks, but it's Funks. Cyber PHU punks, not punk PUNK. It's funk like P. I'll get on with it. Let me read through this. Schwartz is the latest high-profile crypto personality to deny Satoshi rumors. In May, Cardano creator Charles Hoskinson said he thought Adam Back, co-founder and chief executive officer of blockchain technology company Blockstream, could be the founder of BTC. These are just great examples of what you would expect from the inventor of a proto system that's almost Bitcoin, to kind of keep doing that research. The other thing is that Back is an expert in cryptography and he has a lot of experience in privacy. So you say, okay, you would have enough operational security knowledge to create an alias that's very secure and capable of defending against. That would be Back. Back was friends with Hal Finney. They knew each other for a long time. The second person to enter the Bitcoin space. Back, however, denied it. Adam Back, and I mean, he's not just denied it, he's put metaphorically, we are all Satoshi, but concretely, I'm not. Interesting. Hodgkinson went to say that the disagreement about Satoshi's identity is a good thing. Is it a good thing? Do we deserve to know? This is what I mean. Do we deserve to know? Good day, steady. Morning, Howard. It means the alias is working if people can have divergent, reasonable opinions. Best to leave the old dog sleeping and move on. Interesting. For what it's worth, computer scientist Hal Finney and Nick Szabo both said it wasn't them. Who is Satoshi? It's an interesting one, isn't it? But David Schwartz, as he's come outright and denied it. A lot of people did actually, because right, cyberpunks. The untold history of Bitcoin entered the cypherpunks. So it's not actually the punks that was fun. It was the cypherpunks. Cypher. CYPHER punks. Did young Satoshi Nakamoto write this 1999 cypherpunks post? See, this is what I was about to say. Level playing field. Like a lot of people, when we're thinking like, oh, 1, 2, 3, Satoshi's like 1 or 2, maybe 3 people, and then you put David Schwartz and his NSS and his old white paper and that. Him and Arthur Britto doing XRPL with Jed McHale. It makes one think that Arthur Britto might well be Satoshi. Talking 2 different identities where it's extremely hard to find out who the actual person is or even get a fucking picture of them. Show me anyone else other than like beyond them 2 in crypto, Arthur Britto and Satoshi Nakamoto. Someone get me a picture of them 2 people. Legitimately. It's fucked. Morning, Sean! My previous article, I addressed the underlying technologies that blockchain runs and the history behind how it all started. The primary focus of the article was the development of PGP encryption by Phil Zimmerman. The wonder of open source software and peer-to-peer networks that are almost impossible to stop. How did all the pieces come together to ultimately create what we know today as Bitcoin? In late 1992, 3 individuals, Eric Hughes, a mathematician from University of California, Berkeley, Tim May, a retired businessman who works for Intel, and John Gilmore, computer scientist, who was Sun Microsystems' 5th employee. They did all retired young, inviting 20 of their closest friends to an informal meeting to discuss some of the world's seemingly most vexing programming and cryptographic issues, the cypherpunks. That initial meeting eventually evolved into a monthly meeting held at John Gilmore's company, Sinus Solutions. At one of the first meetings, Jim Miller, a hacker and author, better known as pseudo St. Jude, described the group as the cypherpunks, a play on the word cipher or cipher, and one of the ways to perform encryption and decryption, and cypherpunk, a genre of fiction made popular by sci-fi. Interesting. This group basically grew into the group that built Bitcoin. Whether you want to just say Satoshi's one person, or whether you want to say he's 1 or 2, or whether you want to say he's 3, or if you want to say he's the whole fucking group, this whole group built Bitcoin with Satoshi. It is unbelievable. From the early 90s, they was together. The first attempt at such an anonymous transaction system was made by Dr. Adam Back. He denied being Satoshi. So each member of these fucking cypherpunks can be Satoshi, but denies the Satoshi. It is like the group of them just made up a pseudo identity, legitimately. David Schwartz helped the NSA create the NIA and then the IA built Bitcoin, so Schwartz didn't make Bitcoin. A group of people called Satoshi Nakamoto did the AI. And the cypherpunks, Howard, you're about to find out that it wasn't. It was actually a group of people as well. And in 1997, when he created Hashcash, Adam Back, at its essence, this was an anti-spam mechanism which would add a time and computational power cost to sending email, therefore making the sending of spam uneconomical. A sender would have to prove that they had it. Yo, he was gonna charge people to send spam emails. That would have been epic. Sender would have to prove that they had expanded computational power to create a stamp and a header. Interesting. So in 2004, Hal Finney created reusable proofs of work which borrowed from the principles of Back's Hashcash. And in 2005, Nick Szabo published a proposal for BitGold, which built on the ideas developed by Hal Finney and various other projects. BitGold was the white paper that preceded the Bitcoin white paper. They'll get onto that, no doubt, in a sec. There's some sugar in this, mate. Jesus. As can be seen, various people from across the world have been working tirelessly on the blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies since the 1990s. And there have been multiple attempts to solve the complex issues surrounding cryptocurrency by arguably some of the most brilliant minds in the space. Enter Satoshi. In October 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto, an unknown individual or group of individuals, sent a paper to the cypherpunk mailing list at metsdown.com called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. I highly recommend that you read this paper. It's only 9 pages. The paper made direct references to B-Money and Hashcash and addressed many of the problems that the earlier developers faced, including double spending. Howard, this might have well been some AI, mate. I don't want to crush you think like the way you're seeing it, because yeah, there might have been a group of people that couldn't quite work it out, and next thing you know, some fucking quantum computers just sent them an email with a fucking white paper that wrote in 2 minutes. Do you know what I mean? You could be right, bro. I'm not saying you're not. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying that we're told it's peak. There's no mention yet of them using AI or computers to help them along, but we're not told who it actually was, so pinch of salt and all that shit in it, guys. So the paper made direct references to B-Money and Hashcash and addressed many of the problems the early developers faced, including double spending, the risk that a single token is used multiple times to purchase goods. The paper attracted a lot of criticisms from skeptics, but Nakamoto continued on and mined the Genesis block of Bitcoin on January the 3rd, 2009. Since its inception, Bitcoin's development has continued to come under fire by critics and skeptics, but the money badger, yeah. It's not a monetary system, Bitcoin. It's just not. It was proof that cryptography in finance works. That's all it was. Proof of work. Proof it worked. And then we'll switch to consensus. Why call it proof of work if you're not just proving it works? Do you know what I mean? Does it, anyone else? Exactly, Howard. Does seem like BTC was a little bit of a precursor, just proving that the blockchain works, that you can have blocks in a chain and all the transactions are within each block and every block knows what the previous block knew, and do you know what I mean? It was prove it works. But then we needed one that was safer from attacks, that was faster, that was more consensus protocol and algorithms than people and machines mining it. Interesting development about Quant and Overledger this morning. Didn't really want to cover it, but I sent someone a message on Twitter, a developer who develops on the XRP ledger and that interledger protocol. He's built his own app. Yeah, he's built a tipping service and shit like that. And he says XRPL and ILP and XRPL, neither of them need Overledger to work or to facilitate an internet of value. You can do it on their own. So why is Overledger acting like fucking ILP need them when the developers telling me they don't need them? Wouldn't mind hearing what David Schwartz has got to say on that. You know who I mean. I'm just not naming him because it was a Twitter DM. So I'm not exactly like this guy said fucking that when it wasn't on a public tweet, it was in an inbox. So I'm not just gonna fucking inbox someone and I'm like, yo, this dickhead's on an inbox. But yeah, a developer's told me XRPL and ILP don't need Overledger, don't need Quant. Can you say XRP, I'm mad for it? Or do you want it more mank? XRP, I'm mad for it, mate. XRP, mad for it. Mad for it, mate. Mad for it. I just saw that. Yo, Alex. Morning, Adam. Making you coffee, not mate. I made a cappuccino. Forgot to put fucking sugar in it and then put another 3 sugars in it instead of just tasting it. I've just had the most sugary brew I've ever had in my life. Jewelry bag. Excuse me. Excuse me. We're only halfway down here. I want to. The first attempt at such an anonymous transaction system was made by Dr. Adam back in 1997 when he created the Hashcast. At its essence, this was an anti-spam mechanism which would advertise computing power and sending email, therefore making the sending of spam uncanonical. In the following year, Wade Day published a proposal for B-Money. Wade Day. I'm sorry about your name. That is a sick name. WEIDAI. Wade. Is that an actual guy or a company? I don't know. Wade. It was him apparently. His proposal included 2 methods of maintaining transaction data. Every participant to the network would maintain a separate database of how much money belongs to the users, and B, all records are kept by a specific group of users. The second option, the group of users who have custody over the records are incentivized to be honest because they have deposited their own money into a special account. Interesting. Do you know what I also thought about the Quant network? You have to stake Quant to run the OS, don't you? To run the operating service, you have to stake Quant. How many Quant do you have to stake? Is it 10? Is it 10 Quant? Which means it'd be $100 just to run the OS. It costs you just to run the OS. And then if you have to stake 10 Quant, only 14 million people can actually use the fucking OS. Because there's only 14 million QNT tokens out there. If it's fucking 1 Quant, 40 million people can do it actually. If it's fucking 10 Quant, what's that, 1.4 mil? Get to use the fucking OS. When I can just go and build on XRPL for free. Oh yeah, come and stake on fucking Quant. Come and buy all these. Why do I want to do something that you're charging me for, mate? What are you doing? Why are you trying to make me stake this, stake that? They haven't even got a second fucking token to spend, like Theta. Or like you got a Theta coin and T-Fuel. At least when you stake your fucking Theta token, you fucking earn T-Fuel. What's Quant giving us? Jack shit. It's a fucking. It's not looking good. Big up Manchester. I know, boo. I know ILP doesn't really need it. I know, but I know the Quant guys are fighting it because of what the Quant guys say in their flaming articles, and it's fucking wrong, mate. wrong. Like there's a Reddit post that everyone kept sending me. Everyone's like, "Oh, read this Reddit post," and they're fucking lying about Interledger on the post, like legitimately just lying, saying it can't do this and it can't do that. And I'm sat there reading it, thinking, "Yeah, it can. What are you lying?" And then it's like, "Well, Quant, the Overledger operating system, is just API based. All you have to do is plug into an API and you can use it." I'm like, "Well, so's fucking Interledger. Interledger's just a protocol. It's just an API. What the fuck are they talking about?" Seriously, man, I got in a pit where I was like, "Do you know what? You're just chatting bubbles. All just legitimately chatting." Right, let me get, because they sent me something, and I appreciate the people actually sending me. Don't get me wrong. Dare to Dream sent a few there. I think Dare to Dream. None of that shit. Fuck's sake. Quantana. He sent me loads, didn't he? Quantana, actually. He sent one of them. Where's the Reddit post? There we go. Regarding misinformation on Reddit. And he even starts with, do you know what? Like, there's no... Even he's got a David Schwartz picture there as if to give you like a little bit more, "Oh, you can believe this because there's a fucking David Schwartz pic there." Do you know what I mean? Is it true that Amazon holds 4 billion XRP? It's first I've heard of that as well. I don't know. Too cheap to buy a cappuccino machine. How much crypto price one of those? Cappuccino machines are cheaper than you think now, Adam, mate. Ours was about 40 quid. And shitty Bosch Tassimo machine was only about 40 quid. Right, so I started reading this the other day, didn't I? And it's like, I don't have time to correct every YouTuber, Twitter, who can't do 2 minutes of research before thinking they know what they're talking about. There's so many errors, it's untrue. Blah, 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 blah. That's what it sounds like. That's what the fucking words that you're reading sounds like. So basically, XRP is a settlement token. Its sole use is to transfer the value and requires an exchange involving buyer-seller tokens involved, converted for settlement to take place. So if a bank wanted to transfer pounds to another bank, the idea is that it would convert XRP for it to be sent to another bank, and then it's sold to dollars. This requires either bank having to hold XRP, no it don't, or they would purchase off equivalent of a third party, yeah. You mean the exchanges, or they go to the XRP decentralized exchange on the XRP ledger. Fucking weapons, like misinformation. You're talking about He's got a post called misinformation, and then gives misinformation in his post about misinformation. Fucking dealing with this shit on a daily basis, mate. So basically, when he gets to the end of it and he's chatted all this shit about fucking XRP and how it does this and it does that and it needs someone else because, and then he goes, QNT is not a settlement token. It has a fixed supply of 14.6 million, which is nowhere near enough to facilitate an internet of value, in my opinion. With 12 million circulations, price far more volatile as seen by the recent change in price. It's also an ERC20 token on the main Ethereum net. The performance of Ethereum has no relation whatsoever on the performance of Overledger. If you had to make a comparison between XRP and QNT, QNT would be like a licensing token to use Ripple software. QNT would be a license to use Ripple software. Ew. I thought you was talking about misinformation, not giving misinformation, bruh. QNT will be like Ripple software, and the usage of the software to sign messages facilitate trade regardless of whether they use XRP or any other currency. QNT is there to facilitate the trade by using whatever settlement token they want rather than being used for settlement. XRP is competing with the likes of JP Morgan coin, no they're not. Finality USC, no they're not. Morgan and Stanley coin, no they're not. HSB's Facebook Libra coin, no they're not. Insert bank stablecoin name here, they're not. They're not, and QNT is not. QNT is used to provide access to and consumption of its operating system, which allows for any of those to be used, as well as requiring each user to hold a minimum amount of QNT. Why would I want to hold a minimum amount of QNT for you to do something Interledger does for me for free? For free. You don't have to buy Interledger coin and stake that to use Interledger protocol. Seriously, quant, sort your neck out. The idea with something like JP Morgan's coin is it doesn't need to have an intermediary who wants to buy X and sell Y to do an exchange. Liquidity issues around that. QNT would enable the JP Morgan coin to transfer it across blockchains, so no need for an exchange to take place and sufficient liquidity be held, an intermediary involved. It's locked in one blockchain and represented on another. JP Morgan's coin will be fixed at $1. It's basically your banknotes, where an IOU at any point in token can be redeemed for $1 through JP Morgan. Due to it being the largest bank in the US and fully regulated, compliant, then there will be a lot more adoption of this by banks rather than using a currency such as XRP. Learn about the Triffian's dilemma, bro. Learn about the Triffian's dilemma, bro. Sort your neck out. Interledger is limited in its ability to just a transfer of value. It's about cross-border transfer of fungible assets. No, Interledger can move any asset. It's not just about value. It's built on the internet, for fuck's sake. If something's not got value, it's just data. We've got an internet of data already. You can send that, mate. Don't start chatting bubbles. We can send data already. Then when it becomes value, it's then a packet of value. It's all still information, just going through different protocols. So there needs to be a buyer on one side and a seller on the other side to facilitate the trade. It's just one simple form of interoperability. Overledger enables this, but also provides the ability to transfer non-fungible assets, tokens, represented across multiple blockchains. It's not just about currency. Everything will be tokenized. Think invoices, quotes, supply chain, identity assets. Well, yeah, same as Interledger, mate. What did he... They're not listening. Like, they're telling me I'm not doing proper research into quant. Well, these clearly haven't done the proper research into Interledger, because, like I say, I spoke to a developer this morning. He's using Interledger and XRPL in his own app to do asset swaps and build trust lines and stuff like that, and he's not using Overledger or QNT because he doesn't fucking need to. Morning, Chris. Like, why would he? Fucking Kane. It's alright, mate. It's alright. Overledger allows for Bitcoin to be represented across different blockchains, so there doesn't need to be loads of exchange rates between third parties, each having to hold huge amounts of liquidity. How does... There's no information at all about how Quant actually does all this shit it's claiming to do. Whereas through Interledger, there actually is. Suggesting that Overledger is a copy of Interledger either shows a complete lack of understanding of either technology or both. Interledger is about transfer of value through atomic swaps. It can't pass logic, non-fungible assets, etc. across blockchain. It can't provide Oracle functionality tokenization of assets to be stored on a blockchain, smart contracts across multiple blockchains, etc. Its main focus is payments, for which it does very well, but it's still very limited to what Overledger enables, hence why Hyperledger Quilter integrating Overledger in addition to Interledger. And this is the bit I like, and I love this bit, like the CEO guy comes on fucking Reddit below the post. So like, thank you, Seth, for the great insight and detail. We are agnostic and interoperating with different blockchains, including Ripple XRP Ledger. Similarly, by connecting to Overledger, we help move market access, more users and clients from enterprise permission blockchains and public permission blockchains to the Ripple network and vice versa. Some use cases by using Overledger. Internal Corda, Overledger, Ripple XRP Ledger. Hyperledger Network 1 to Overledger, Hyperledger Network 2, Overledger, Ripple XRP Ledger, Ripple, Overledger, JPM Coin, Libra, Overledger, Ripple XRP Ledger, Binance. Why are you putting tokens? Why put... That's value, bro. Value between ILP, your fucking weapon. So 1 minute you talk about, oh no, well what it is Interledger's going to do the currency, Interledger's going to do the tokens and anything of value. It's got values. Interledger, yo, we're doing the smart contracts and the non-fungible assets and all that shit, yeah. But when I show you use cases, I'm going to show you value coins, you fucking weapon. But like, show me anything on there, like, except maybe Hyperledger that could be smart contracts. I also see use cases with our universal utility token approach. Networks powered by QNT. How's 14 million coins gonna power a fucking internet of value when you have to stake the coins to run the operating system? Nah, that's bullshit. Do you know what? Go and buy some fucking quant just in case and then expect it to fucking bomb. I don't know what to think about that shit anymore. Smash them likes. Craig White Satoshi. Craig White's in fucking court for lying about that, innit? And he had to retract his fucking statement because he was about to get fucking rinsed in court. But lying about who you are, man, it's fucking wrong. And I feel like we all deserve to know who Satoshi is. Ooh, explain Hyperledger. Hyperledger is basically a greenhouse, right? So imagine, you know when you're going to go and garden, you're going to go and do a bit of gardening, and you walk in the greenhouse and there's everything you fucking need in the greenhouse, from little pots to all the tools to the frameworks to fucking all your canes and your tie wraps and all this shit. It's just all there in the greenhouse, innit? Anything you need to fucking garden is available to you in the greenhouse, right? We there. We get that, yeah? So Hyperledger, yeah, is a blockchain greenhouse full of tools and frameworks that allows you to build whatever kind of blockchain you want to build, be it enterprise, personal, public, private, for identity, for supply chain, you name it. It has got it. It has got it. Now, IBM Connection is they are helping build some of the tools and frameworks along with Ripple, DTCC, NTT Data, excuse me, and a few other big players. Now we have done some in-depth videos into Hyperledger in the past. If you want to check a few of them out, if you just go on the channel, you just type in "love for crypto Hyperledger" on Google, you should get a shitload up, mate. Well, maybe not a shitload, but 4 or 5 videos. But basically, fucking hell, Hyperledger's page well changed. Damn, it's not been on for a while. Shit, it has proper changed. Damn. What is Hyperledger? Fucking hell, Hyperledger greenhouse. I just want to get the fucking greenhouse up a little bit to give you a little idea of the different tools and frameworks and how you can build it on anything. So if you see there, we've got Hyperledger there, and that's the greenhouse basically with the tools and frameworks. So you see Hyperledger Burrow, Hyperledger Fabric, Hyperledger Index, Aurora, Sawtooth, Caliper, Cello, Composer, Explorer, and Hyperledger Quilt. They are the main tools, and you'll see frameworks at the top that are actual blockchains at the top. You build a frame, and then you use the tools below to connect them blockworks and frameworks. So basically, Hyperledger Burrow, permissionable smart contract machine. Fabric is permissioned with channel support and is modular. You can build your private ledger and network in your own home with that. Hyperledger Index is for decentralized identity. You could start building your own personal digital ID on your own Hyperledger Indie network and then link it to the governing networks as and when they come out. Sawtooth, permissioned and permissionless support for the Ethereum virtual machine transaction family. Yeah. Caliper is blockchain framework. Celo is an as a service deployment. All this mobility as a service, all this stuff as a service, and build it on Celo. Composer is model and build blockchain networks, obviously compose the network. Explorer speaks for itself, view and explore data on blockchains. And Hyperledger Quill is for ledger interoperability, built by Ripple and NTT Data. Hyperledger Quill is the link to to Interledger Protocol. The premier members at the bottom of Hyperledger. So you can see IBM on there, Intel, DTCC. We've got fucking American Express. We've got some banks there. You know what I mean? It's Hyperledger, set up by the Linux Foundation, is the biggest blockchain consortium on the planet. There isn't a probably the only biggest consortium would be the W3C, and their Hyperledger's only bigger than them because the W3C isn't just blockchain. It's not a blockchain consortium, it's a technology consortium for the whole World Wide Web. So it's not just blockchain. When you go blockchain specific, Hyperledger's the biggest consortium on the planet. Morning Night Ghost. Anyone, Howard, can go on Hyperledger and start building. You just need to know how. Now, I got Hyperledger on a laptop. I think I actually did the tutorial of it. That's in one of the videos showing you how to actually get Hyperledger on a Linux laptop or machine. But building on top of it's a different story, mate. There's a lot to do, and need to speak to a couple of developers, to be honest, to iron out how it's exactly going to be done. Even if he wasn't level playing field, he was 100% part of the XRP creation. So if you want to put David Schwartz and Arthur Brito in possibly helping to make Bitcoin, then yeah, why wouldn't Jed's name be in there as well? It's interesting. Morning, Pablo. But I love Hyperledger though. Hyperledger's pretty sick. But Hyperledger over Ledger. I just don't. Quant Network is joining Hyperledger, an open source collaborative effort created to advance cross-industry blockchain technologies. Hyperledger is a multi-project, multi-stakeholder effort that includes 12 enterprise blockchain and distributed ledger technologies. Hyperledger enables organizations and people, guys, not just organizations, to build robust, industry-specific applications, platforms, and hardware systems to support their business transactions by creating enterprise-grade, open-source distributed ledger frameworks and code bases. More than 270 organizations are now contributing to the growth of Hyperledger's open-source distributed ledger frameworks and tools. Quant Network's blockchain operating system, Overledger, has had a Hyperledger Fabric connector since 2018.
Well, I'll just interrupt you 1 minute.
Who is it?
It's for the cat. You've got to give me permission since you want it in your name.
You can have permission, but how do they know? Just tell Eze to say it. How do they know it's me?
He's not here. You just have to tell the woman you can give permission.
Hello? Yeah. 9 for the 684. 2303 Larry Jones at Manchester M43 6PG. Ozai. Yes, I do. Yes. Mine. It's Pamela Pratt.
32.
It was about fuck off there. Fuck's sake, I fucking hate people on fucking phones. It's 2020, mate. Do some shit online. Did I prove? Apparently, that's just proved I was Scott Pratt. Alf, what a fucking joke. What a fucking joke. I'm sick of this shit, mate. Oh, can't have chips in our hands. I don't want digital ID. I don't want this. I don't want that. Oh, but you want to be able to prove your ID just by blah, 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 blah. That could be fucking anyone. Just because I know my date of birth and my address. I'm Scott Pratt. Chat fucking shit. Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. It's to get the pet insured. Fucking joke. I can't stand it. I can't stand doing things that I shouldn't have to do anymore when I know the technology's there. Just give me a digital ID for fuck's sake. What are you waiting for? Anyway, Quant's had an Hyperledger Fabric connector since 2018. Joining the Hyperledger community will help us further strengthen integration and enable interoperability with Hyperledger technologies. Additionally, Hyperledger members will have the opportunity to gain access to the Overledger operating system, which can provide them with a choice of ease of implementing Hyper. Right. I seriously need to know what the fuck's so special about this Overledger operating system, because I don't see anyone using it. I see them talking about it all over the gap. But who's actually using it? Overledger operating system, which can provide them with choice in implementing Hyperledger as well as any other blockchain and distributed ledger technology, and the ability to seamlessly integrate these technology with legacy systems. We are honoured to join Hyperledger and the Linux Foundation to contribute to open source software and provide domain expertise. We see the immense value of collaborating to bring mass adoption for blockchain technology and contributing with our Overledger operating system, which helps unlock the potential of blockchain technology, solving interoperability between blockchains as well as existing. What does Overledger offer in interoperability that Hyperledger Quilt didn't already cover? It's not really saying, oh, well, Hyperledger Quilt couldn't do this, so we have to. And if they did, it'd probably be a fucking lie. Like they said, Interledger can't do this when it can. Our network is driven by the belief that collaboration makes blockchain ecosystems stronger, which is why the majority of our code is open source. The majority, not all of it, no, not all of it. Oh, what a shame. What a shame you fucking hide shit. Oh, God. Quant Network is a pioneering technology company combining cybersecurity industry and government. I want to go and actually meet. I want to go to Quant's fucking office and labs me. I actually want them to fucking just lay it all on the table for me. So I actually have faith in the project, because it looks like a bunch of fucking BitConnect motherfuckers who were just going to fuck off eventually. And I'm not joking there. I'm really not fucking joking. It looks like they're just going to bolt one day. London Block Exchange. See ya. Fuck's sake. I can't trust that project or network at all. Oh, never apologise, Alan. Just the fact you're here, mate. So it's at the phone. He's fucking hanging, mate. I wish it was Satoshi calling, man. Yes, sticky board. Like, how proving your identity like that over the phone is just absolutely ridiculous. Morning, Tony. Seamlessly integrate with a legacy system. Open source just means you can look at it, doesn't mean you own it. Well, open source means you can fucking work on it, mate. You can add to it. No, you've got a Samsung phone, bro. You've got an open source, unlocked phone that you can adapt yourself. You have to jailbreak the iPhone to make the iPhone what the Samsung is, or the Huawei, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's open source. Yes, means it's on GitHub, it's there, it's available to read, but it's also available for you to fucking clone and build on straight up. Straight up. Oracle, use it over Ledger. Nice, Shannon. Nice. Good luck. Good luck with that one. Yeah, Kane, I can't fucking stand proving my identity on the phone these days. So apparently anyone who knows me address, my date of birth, can prove can prove the me. Are you taking the fucking piss? It's like when you ring the bank, like when you go in the bar. I went in the bank the other day, man. I'm just stood there and I was like, I want that money out my bank. I've got 20 quid in my bank. I want the money out my bank. They're like, we need to see some ID. I'm like, no, you fucking don't. I've got my phone on me. Give me my fucking money. Scott Pratt. They're like, well, we need to see ID. I'm like, no, you fucking don't. So I got my Halifax app open in front of them and opened my app and said, there's Scott Pratt's app account. I said, if I'm not Scott Pratt, and I've just got into his account, you've got privacy and security problems, mate. So give me my fucking money. And they're just like, need ID. I'm like, no, I've just showed you my ID by opening my fucking app. Are you confident that only Scott Pratt can get in that app? Because like I say, otherwise you've got security and privacy problems. Give me my money. Telling me I need to bring my passport in the bank, you cheeky bastard. It's my fucking money. I didn't, Miles Parker. I'm not in a rush, to be honest, mate. I'm gonna be straight up honest with people. I know it's great to have pay ID available and all that, but where have you gone, bit true? You built your own, if you get right, you get your own domain and your own email and on your own server and you covered your own pay ID. Superb. And just be wary about trusting someone else's server and yeah, we're trying to get away from middlemen, aren't we? Not need more of them. It's hard sometimes, Alan, to watch animated shit if you're not used to it. I can watch an animated movie. I can watch a fucking DC Batman film and cry my fucking eyes out, me, as if it's real people. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, what does Overledger do that Hyperledger Quilt doesn't, interoperability-wise? And what does Overledger do that between the Internet of Data, IP address, and Internet of Value, ILP address? What can't they do together that fucking Overledger can do? Do you know what I mean? Again, I want all the projects to succeed. I want everyone who's invested in something to succeed. But the fact of the matter is, we are looking at some stuff that may not be as legitimate as the first seem. BitConnect, Centracoin, London Block Exchange. See, but that's trying to change the network in it, Jonathan. That's different. Bitcoin's open source, but the code only gets pushed through if Bitcoin Developer Council allows it to be. That'll be the same with any decentralized system, mate. Not just centralized. That will be the same with a decentralized system. You will need to meet consensus in the network to change anything about the network. But building on the network within the current rules and regulations set by the network, you're good to go. As long as you understand it and can write it, mate, you're good to go. It's like Ethereum. As long as you follow the 12 lines of protocol for the Ethereum ERC20 tokens, you can create an ERC20 token. You try and do it with just 11 lines of them code, it's not fucking going to work. You need all 12 and it will give you an ERC20 token as long as you pay the fee. It's weird. Overledger Network launched today. Apparently so. Hyperledger is a DLT. See, it's more than distributed ledger technology. It's frameworks and tools. We've just said it. They provide a ledger. They provide a tool and framework for an enterprise to basically make anything they want within the business model. And like I say, it is quite easy in my head for me to transfer that into what you can do in your own home. Check Twitter tone in all danger. Rockador Bitcoin isn't claiming to facilitate a full internet of value and claiming that XRP needs QNT and you've got to stake Bitcoin to be able to push fucking this here and there. It's all that about. Honestly, can someone tell me how much QNT I have to stake to run the OS? Does anyone even know? So how many people can actually run the OS with the quant available? That's what I mean, mate. You have to stake the fucking quant. Like, who decides when that number comes down? Is it half a quant you have to stake? So 28 million people can do it. If it's one quant to stake to be able to operate the OS, only 14 million people can get one quant, mate. Now, in the same sense as Bitcoin, if that was for a store of value or something, then it's got a lot of future value, because again, what happens when 100 million people want something that there's only 14 million of? That's extreme supply and demand. When you're talking about utility, everyone's like, oh, there's too many XRP. What, for every person in the world to have just 13 each of them? You barely get 13 each. And that was the other week. There's been about fucking 200 more people than what have died. So like 500 people have died since then. Fucking 700 were born. So there's actually 200 more people now. That's fucking daily. That's pretty much daily, that there's fucking 100 people a day being added or some shit. Regardless of how many we're losing. It's fucked up. You can't like, oh shit, check Twitter, sorry Tony. Nearly got carried away then. Exactly, Howard, and it's going to come to the point where you're going to want to be online, not on the phone. It's going to be much easier to just be like, look, I'm online in my account right now. I'm obviously Scott Pratt or someone who's allowed in the account, or I wouldn't have been able to sign in. It's completely different when they just ring your fucking house, or anyone randomly rings them and they're like, oh, can we just check your security details? Have you got your address, your name, and your date of birth? You're like, that's all you fucking want? Really? Really? You think, but, right, I'm so meta, even this acronym. Right, Overledger, I've tried all connectors so you can connect any API. Interledger protocol does that, mate. It's exactly, it's not different than Interledger protocol. Like, this will be interesting. The W3C, regulators of the internet and that, the future of web payments and the Overledger protocol. Oh, sorry, I meant the Interledger protocol, sorry. You mean like connectors like them? You mean them kind of connectors? Connectors between Matchmaking based on payment methods. What if there's no common payment method? When we need to pay across networks, or Interledger don't bounce across networks. Interledger is built on the internet, so it can also it's a network of networks. Internet architecture. Optimistic transfer protocol. Automaticity, the problem is commonly solved using two-phase commit pattern or transaction automaticity. Interesting. These basic building blocks enable digital assets to be securely relayed across multiple ledgers and networks. That's interesting, isn't it? Like across multiple ledgers and networks. Chained payments, limitlessly scalable. Oh, look at that one there. Connected disparate systems, minimal standard to link banks, networks, telcos, etc. From payment networks to the mobile network operator. See an overledger sign anywhere there, anyone? Use case specific application layer protocols can be developed on top of the interledger stack. Open Web Payment Scheme provides basic consumer payments across networks. So come back with you, but that's all payments. Come back with you, well, that's all payments. So what does Overledger do? The Interledger, Hyperledger, and the actual internet can't do. What else is there? What other kind of data that can't be pushed through DLT in Hyperledger, Hyperledger Quill, ILP, and the standard fucking internet? Like, what else is there to be moved? Overledger, the code is closed. How much of the code's closed? Then 3 lines of code they're claiming. Is that actually closed? The World Wide Web 2.0, it isn't a ledger protocol, the W3C right there, the governing body. Like, who else do I listen to? There's no one higher. There's no one higher when it comes to internet regulation. Who else is there? Like, honestly, guys. And break it down what they actually are, like full on break it down. The World Wide Web Consortium is the main international standards organization for the World Wide Web. Founded in 1994 and currently led by Tim Berners-Lee, the consortium is made up of member organizations that maintain full-time staff working together in the development of standards for the World Wide Web. They are now in charge of the standards also for the Internet of Value. I don't understand where people expect us to go beyond them. W3C standards define an open web platform for application development that has unprecedented potential to enable developers. I don't, yeah. Where'd you go? Who else? Like, if we've been through the W3C members list before, it's absolutely ridiculous. You don't have to stake. But it says it says you do on that Reddit post everyone's sending me, mate. So why is that? Why is that guy telling me stake? Fuck's sake, where are these gone now? Enjoy your time with them, Alan. If you can. A Ripple gateway, AB Ethereum gateway. Why do we need an overledger gateway though to Ripple? From Ripple to Ethereum? When Interledger Protocol does it. Hyperledger's got like connectors to the Ethereum virtual machine. Morning, Anil. Most of us own over 50k happy anyway, or most of us. Yeah, me, yeah. Fucking hell, man, that's a stack. On a Ripple validator and you add the overledger gateway, then you get a percentage of the Ripple transactions. I don't know, just yeah, but Jonathan, what? I've got Android OS. Why do we need overledger? Why do we need a new operating system? I'm not getting it. Always keep it civil, Luke. I mean, I can talk a bit assertively sometimes. It can seem like I'm shouting. But yeah, I'm up for the debate, mate. I need people to explain to me why they believe I need overledger. Because I've been told this morning off an XRPL and Interledger Protocol developer that I don't need. He doesn't need overledger to do what he's gonna do. So they don't need overledger. Have you read any of Sex articles on me? I'm pretty sure it was his article on Reddit, mate. Why have I got Reddit posts staking my quant regarding gateways? How many quant would I need to be holding to stake it? Good question. In return for participating in the Overledger Network ecosystem, community members will be able to earn QNT, the extent of which can vary depending on the gateway tiers and volume. That's very vague. The whole article doesn't really go into what being a validator means in the consensus of the network and why it's even required to be a validator at all. Some kind of point of sale style format. Proof of stake, sorry. I would say point of sale, POS. I mean proof of stake over. Let me get back on this fucking Reddit post. Sec, right? That guy there, mate, cheeky green parrot. That guy there, Sec22, is that what you mean? That's the one I was reading out before. I fucking just don't want to read it all out again. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find where it says you stake it. Like, right. We're talking about the construction of an internet of value. And then he goes on to say Interledger is limited in its ability to just a transfer of value. What what else are we transferring in the internet of value except fucking value? I've said this before, VeChain is not necessarily tracking transfer of value, is it? It's tracking the transfer of assets and products and supply chains. And it's got a currency there in case it ever in case it's ever requested and it needs to transfer value. At that point, it doesn't just need a DLT on the internet of data. It needs a DLT linked to ILP in the internet of value. Again, why did he need the overledger operating system? The part of it is people are trying to tell me we need it. It's a fucking choice, and it might help you out. All right, right. So if you're not a fan of Microsoft and you've wanted a new type of Windows, but don't like Linux and didn't want to go onto Linux, and there's not that many actual operating systems in the mainstream media for people, and you're like, oh, I want to try that new blockchain compatible operating system. I don't fucking know. Why do I need it? Collaboration doesn't take a platform, Jason. It takes interoperability. Takes interoperability, mate. Let me let's go back to that document. So, have we got an operating system that links every single one of our email accounts so we can send email to each other? So my operating system covers an email going from Microsoft's servers over to Google's. Do I need a certain operating system to facilitate that transaction? Don't do I? I just fucking go on Microsoft emails and I send it to a Gmail account, and the interoperability of the W3C's protocols sends that information where it needs to go. I.e., example, I'm on PDF viewer there, W3C, the future of payments. I just click PDF viewer. This is just a bit of software on my phone, and I can click send file. That's not a platform or an operating system. It's a page of interoperability of data. I can then send that PDF through multiple servers, but the same internet of data. And I've not needed a separate operating system to do it. Not needed an operating system that joined all them platforms together so they all went to the same platform. I've needed APIs between each of the servers that collects that fucking email and that piece of information. .pdf, it has to accept .pdf, just like most of them have to accept JPEG and PNG images and MP3 files and MP4 files. And the smart contracts will have their different little codes for what kind of smart contracts they are. Make no mistake, they can move through the internet if they don't have value, because it's just data and information. And then we need the Interledger Protocol, ILP. So you'll have a page like that one day, I'd imagine, and I've done a video about it already. Imagine going on to Wirex and you want to send to contact or send money, and it's like send to contact, send to it, but it's a page like that: send to contact, send to Wirex account, send to Uphold account, send to NatWest, send to TSB, send to Tesco, send to Google. and it'll just go to the fucking Pay ID wallet. Once you've like done stuff like Pay ID, and you've actually already done a connection. So if I've already got a connection, if I click WhatsApp through there, it brings up all the current connections I have on WhatsApp and says which connector do you want to send the information to, which wallet, which server, which fucking inbox is this information going to end up in? Where's Overledger needed when we've already got facilitation of data transfer and ILP facilitates value transfer? What's the need of this operating system? I think that's a lie, Night Ghost. That's why I'm saying, like, we're the only one capable. You're not, though. You're not. And the fact that you're like absent off so many websites, like, are they there as a Linux partner yet? There as a Hyperledger member yet? Are they as a W3C member yet? Quant. It's where are they? In the thick of it all. Isn't ILP by Riffle gifted to the W3C as the global standard for? Yeah, exactly, Miles. Exactly, mate. So this is what I always said, and I always have said. Once it's given to the W3C like that, is it not a done deal? It's like getting to the year 2000 and Google doing as well as it's doing by then. It's only been out like 2 years, and all the like AdWords and all that are blowing up. Emails blowing up. It's thinking about maps and all that stuff. And then someone comes along and is like, oh, I've got a new protocol and a new thingy, but you all need to join this operating system, and you're not going to be able to do it without us, blah, blah, blah. And I don't really like this www dot shit. I think it should be fff dot fuck you, use mine instead. And everyone's like, nah, we've agreed on www dot, mate. We've agreed on the World Wide Web, www dot. Called ourselves a W3C. Been doing it 6 years already. We've come up with protocols already. We've got IP address, which is the internet protocol for sending data, interoperability of data between networks. We're creating a network already that we've been doing since before the 80s. And now you just come along wanting to mix it up. It's like, do you and can you change it once it's on the fucking W3C's radar, once they're in control of it? Wait, what's your name on Twitter, Tony? Have you just tagged me in it or something? Ah, Quantona, there we go. Sorry, mate. Fucking went over my head that. Yeah. Sorry about that. There's different level of interoperability. Look at this chart. Interledger cannot do everything Overledger can do. While it can work quite well by means of establishing payment channels, it's not suitable for transfer or calculating state amongst many chains. ILP only fills 1 and 2, whereas Overledger, an Overledger network fulfills all 5, allowing for the proper platform to build applications. ILP is more suited for independent payment channels, not broad integrations. Look at this chart. Integrate with existing business platforms, initiate payments on existing rails or blockchain rails, interchain applications and smart contracts that can be deployed, executed across protocols, applications that benefit from value, add some underlying protocol, applications to switch platform. Tony, you realise all that's available within RippleNet, Spring, Forte, XRP Ledger, XRP Decentralized Exchange, Codius, Interledger Protocol. It's not just ILP that Ripple have built. Like, people think it's just, see, I'm not saying you or anything, but they're leaving out the fact that there's other software that Ripple's built to facilitate stuff as well as payments. Cody has been dropped or something. The maintained state changes between systems during runtime includes assumptions and constraints that affect data interchange. Systems are aware of methods and procedures of other payments, contexts, and it's just talking about data, mate. Data can already be done. Like, I'm still not buggy seeing it. Snoo World will show me the SIA documents saying that and why it's only Quant that provides what they need. I'm asking for a few documents because we've seen documentation about how bad the legacy systems are and how slow correspondent banking is, and we've seen it explained in documents, and then we've seen Interledger and the new connectors on the W3C document. It shows on all these how systems are slow and how it's going to be sped up from the transfer of value. We've already got the transfer of data, and they've just introduced bi-directional messaging for systems to talk to each other as well. So again, I don't really see that when it's just if it's just an operating system, like Interledger allows atomic swaps, not any arbitrary swap of information, not translating smart contracts from one block to another. No, but XRPL, the decentralized exchange, and what's being built on top of it can. Like, what do people think Forte are building? People think Forte are building, like, a network of networks for gaming where the gaming networks can't really communicate and they need Overledger. It's what's Spring doing? What's fucking Zoom and all that doing? It's why don't they all just give up? We all just get Overledger instead. Well, Chris Larson says Interledger can transfer any asset. It's not just currencies. It's not just currencies, it's any asset of value, which sometimes is contracts and derivatives. They have value. It's not just data. It's data that has value. That's what people need to understand. Most data these days has value. Data's thrown around the internet a day at the moment for free, basically. We pay to have an internet connection and then we throw data in it, giving people our data, and then they actually make money off it in the background. That data's got value. But they make money off it in the background. Now in the future, the more money we make off our data and the more it goes back and forth with actual value, they need ILP anyway to facilitate a transfer of value. So again, I think I need a face-to-face sit down with a fucking CEO and its developers or some shit. I don't know. Because again, like Jonathan, it's not just currencies ILP, Jonathan. It's really not. It's got some articles read, missing some info. Well, I've got is that a video as well, Tony, that you sent me? Let me just go back on that. Here's Quant founder speaking at Swell. Right, now, Tony, we're getting somewhere. We're actually getting somewhere. Nice, mate. I'll put one minute. I'm going to get to the bottom of the comments and then I'm going to do this Swell thing because you've given me now exactly what I asked for yesterday. All right. someone linked to quant. I'm not saying he's going to mention quant or if he's got ties to other people, but we can't sit here and say Chris Larson and Ryan Zagon and all the other ones that have ventured out, whether they're an IMF advisor or anything, we can't say connections like that matter and then disregard a connection like this just because he's not speaking under the quant umbrella and he's actually talking for a university, but it's a university that both Ripple and Quant are partnered with. So, Tony, we're getting somewhere. Give me a sec. Overledger can run smart contracts on multiple chains. RP cannot. Yeah, but Codius is, again, isolated. Codius, does everyone give up on Codius or something? Luke on stream. We'll have a Zoom with Luke. A Zoom. Fuck's sake, Scott. Zoom app's killed me, mate. It's killed me. We'll have a Zoom chat with Luke. We'll set it up instead of because it's hard, guys, on here, and I know it's hard, and I apologise that I'm a little bit slow in comments sometimes, but it's because I'm looking at information and then I'm giving opinion, and at that time, fucking 20 odd comments are gone, and by the time I've read 5 of them, there's another 10. So I apologise for that. And if Luke comes on here now, it's going to be pretty hard to have a direct conversation with him. But if we set it up on Twitter or something, Tony, get fucking little group on the go or something, bring Luke into it, get me into it. We'll set up a Zoom call, Zoom, woo, and we'll get it on live on Zoom. Default's happening all the time. ILP can move. Exactly, Boo, and almost every bit of data is going to become valuable in the future, so it will need a value transfer, a value transfer protocol to facilitate it in the future. Different aspects of utility gateways are one with a real within a network where you add collateral to gain more bandwidth, similar to Chainlink. Interesting. Point of sale. See how far behind I am on comments, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm just going to fly at the bottom of them. Boom, done. Sorry if I just like legitimately skip right over your comment, but right. On Ripple Insights, like I asked for yesterday, give me something where Ripple they've shared it themselves, and it's from December last year, swell 2019, closing academia and industry's blockchain gap through UBRI. Mind the Gap is a bill of warning from London's underground that has since crossed over into popular culture, appearing in video games, books, and t-shirts around the world. It was also a subtext of Dr. Paulo Tasca's fireside chat about Ripple's University Blockchain Research Initiative, UBRI at Swell. So Dr. Paulo Tasca is one of the founders of Quant, I believe. Originally, the phrase was meant to inspire caution to travelers transition between trains and platforms, while Dr. Tasca did not utter that exact phrase during the conversation with Ripple's senior manager, University Partnerships, Lauren Weymouth. He did speak to the gap that exists between academia and industry and the danger it represents for blockchain. Over time, Dr. Tasca has often observed large gaps between industry and academia around emerging technologies because of divergent points of emphasis for each sector, profits versus research. But the executive director of Center Blockchains. So they are referencing him as the director of Centre of Blockchain Technologies at University College of London, UCL. He's committed to closing the gap around the study of blockchain so that he can foster collaboration between the two groups and maximise the technology's potential. UBRI has been an important part of his strategy. He expressed his appreciation for Ripple's close collaboration with students and faculty. He's leveraging this relationship in 3 distinct ways to deliver more close to market research and align the disparate fields of academia and business that contribute to the advancement of blockchain. Blockchain community engagement. The Center for Blockchain Technologies brings together more than 180 people from around the world to learn from blockchain. So far, they finance some projects. So recent efforts have included a 10-day hackathon called Block Sprint, brought 20 teams from across Europe to London to compete. One of the stated goals of the competition was to enable experimentation on top of Ripple, Spring, and other platforms. The success of the competition was confirmed by numbers 160 individuals. Internet of Value. Dr. Tasker views the Internet of Value as an empowering ideal that should evolve into a public good for the benefit of most, rather than as something to be monetized for the profit of a few. In an earlier presentation at Swell, he characterized it not as an option for society, but rather a need driven by the intersecting trends of datafication, platform business models, and growing interest in impact-orientated businesses, and an emphasis on utility over products. To dive deeper into these trends and associated challenges such as systemic risk and governance and privacy, he and his team will publish a white paper on the Internet of Value by January 2020. The paper will also highlight the importance of blockchain and digital assets to the Internet of Value and its potential impact on industries ranging from finance. What's that white paper, January 2020? Is that the actual quant white paper? Get me this white paper. Does anyone get this white paper up? Say he supported the launch of new Samsung Pay payment system and also Alipay and WeChat payments as a service reactivated. How many of them? They plan to publish a white paper on January 2020. What was that? Blockchain and application. Of course, not all of CBT's work is theoretical. It also engages the pro world, central banks, and government rates. That's interesting. Well, see that white paper now. I wonder. That was what, 6 months ago?
Invest as little as £1 in the world's leading companies completely free, only with Trading 212.
Put that video. Interesting. Right. Dr. Tasker. I'm gonna try and find his this white paper that he put up, or apparently was gonna share. When was the quant white paper out? An overledger white paper? When did they actually drop? Tasker's the overledger patent holder. Now look, Christine Lagarde. Yeah, she's all over it, Lagarde. Oh, fuck off, Scott. I just want to read this white paper is supposed to have been releasing now. At least what it was. See, it's not like companies and institutions and other corporations that are not going to be like, if they've made a platform that I suppose makes it easier for one of their admins to just fucking do I don't know what. I don't know. I'm trying to get my fucking head round why they did. What's this? UCL CBT February activities newsletter. UCL blockchain. Oh, what's this? The thing is, though, Tony, flaming Bab. Remember Bab? Bank account based blockchain. Everyone's a bank. They met with a Bank of Lithuania and the Her Majesty's Treasurer and the UK government and that, and they was like, it seemed like they was fucking that far away from getting banking licenses and that, mate. You could have bet your fucking ass on it. There was going to be a major player. And next thing, they just released a fundraising app. Banking license to come later. It's like, oh, okay. Don't get me wrong, Veet's been saying it is hard to get banking license, so it's not like. But just because they've met with him, I can't take that as definitive anymore. Call for papers. UCL CBT discussion paper series extended deadline 9th of March 2020. The UCL Centre for Blockchain Technologies is pleased to announce the return of its discussion paper series on distributed ledger technologies. The aim of the CBT discussion paper series is to share recent developments and state-of-the-art solutions on blockchain and DLT from UCL CBT associates and our community. Due to a number of requests, the deadline for UCL CBT discussion paper series has been extended. If you haven't submitted a paper yet, you still have the chance to do so until 9th of March. Interesting. Call for papers 2020 Crypto Valley Conference. Dr. Paolo Tasca, the Executive Director of UCL CBT, will be chairing the economic and financial track of 2020 Crypto Valley Conference. This is going right. I'll tell you straight up right now. This is going to be one of them things, right, where all the people who get taught off this professor and have been taught off this professor and actually remember this fucking doctor in the fucking university is going to be like, in the future, rah, he ended up dode off that thing he fucking built. Or that thing he built just crashed in it. It's one of the I can see the story now that he ends up fucking massive because of what he built. So I can also see him being ruined by it. I'm just writing movies in my head. Ignore me. Buying the last XRP bag today. Digital XRP. Yo. Bit of diversifying them, bro. I think regulations are going to take longer than people think. You'll see the beginnings of them. Like you say, Boo, the start of the regulations rolled out soon, but it's going to take so long because it's going to be an ever-evolving space with new types of value emerging. Like I say, with Forte and gaming, with entertainment, with sports and that. It's going to go crazy. It's going to go absolutely crazy. Never mind, like, start getting paid for data and stuff. Madness. That's where he went. Ryan Zagone. Cheers, Boo. Couldn't remember. Ryan Zagone from Ripple's on the steering committee for the Faster Payments Task Force. Big hand in regulations. But that's what I mean. This guy here from the UCL CBT, he's clearly got his fingers in the pots and try to make a change. I just don't understand. It's a weird one, isn't it? Like, couldn't he have just built on top of XRPL and Spring an Interledger protocol himself instead of building an ERC20 token? These are the kind of people the kind of people that need to try and get in front of in conferences and that next year. We need to start trying to do a bit of traveling and like get face to face with people with my camera. Really, really do need to start trying to do that because I should be able to get some epic interviews if we go to the right places. Not paying attention to the comments. Ew. Sorry, mate. I did say I'm shit at following comments, lad. For the license, just the license is a token on this Ethereum network for transparency, security, network, and business effects. Again, there's what license? License for what? You understand? License means permission. License is basically permission. You've been given a license. You've been given permission. So why do we need permission for transparency, security, and the network and business effects on Ethereum? Why do we need Overledger for that? We're not. Having been CISR for vocal link securing children's data transactions across the UK is just one of the dozens of examples. What's Overledger permissioning? Latest toner. I won't be buying in quant much later. I won't need your help. They need help getting more pairs if they want people to buy it, because I haven't got many pairs, mate. Not got many places to actually get it. To start joining new platforms and all that, just to buy a license token. What's a license token? We even need that for using an operating system that I likely won't need. I joined a Telegram group the other day and then went back about half an hour later for the little chat in there, and I wasn't even in it anymore, so whatever. Everyone keeps asking me to join a group and get booted out of. I'm got time for that shit. Like, legitimately, I don't know why I was booted, but I wasn't in it. It wasn't even that long, it was 20 minutes or something. Tried going back in and no, not today. Yeah, we'll get there, Tony. I don't. It's the operating system and license token bit I'm struggling with. Yeah. Every other company I see that talk or entity or person or developer that talks about contributing to the Internet of Value and a network of networks moving forward doesn't mention needing Overledger. They don't like operating system and all that. It's not even out, is it? It's coming out today, so I can download the operating system later on. I didn't get booted. I got to pass the fucking spam bots. Fuck's sake. Oh well. Mate. I'm not slipping. There's just not that much information out there about quant. It's that simple. And I don't mean from quant, I mean from other people. Do you know how many other developers in that talk about XRP, XRPL, and ILP? Do you know what I mean? It's none of them are talking about Overledger. So what's this fucking chatbot? Oh, I haven't got Telegram on this one. Yeah, I know XRP's been around much longer, but it was being talked about immediately. Ripple was there immediately, Tony. But later, like I say, join our Telegram and view all the documents. You'll see it. You'll see the letters to the Treasury answering the call to action. They're not far off 10 years of proving the ledger, Ripple. Proving the ledger just works like that. Bam, 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 bam. Not far off 10 years of proving it. And at 10 years, that's the ISO migration. So don't need to go through it in private. Fucking private. Don't need to go through it in private. Laters. I'm gonna get some breakfast myself soon because I didn't eat till late yesterday. You can't be doing that. Where's that message? Inbox. So developers like, I must admit I have zero experience of Overledger and Quant, but I assure you neither the XRPL or ILP need other tech to function. They function just fine. I don't know what they're bringing to the table, like what they're bringing to these developers that they haven't already got, because the developers are telling me that they're all right. They're building the Internet of Value and they ain't doing it with Overledger. So what I'm wondering, Jason, what actually happens today? What's actually being launched today? Like, honestly, Boo, it sounds more just like an enterprise that having in their office, as well as APIs for every other network. But then I don't know what's in between the current data transfer we've got between ILP's value transfer. I don't see what's in between that's needed, the Overledge is needed for. I really don't. And I don't know what Quant's needed for that matter, on top of that, the actual token. So, Bank of England mentioned Overledger. Bank of England. Say on paper when you initially look at it, Mike, it does look good, but then like when people start telling you they don't really need it for what they're doing, I'm wondering who does need it. Like they don't. Who's this sec guy who's writing all these? Who's that? Who's that guy?
Going out. I was upstairs.
All right. See you about. Just not much mention of Overledger or other people, mate. I'm just gonna have to see what happens today, I suppose. In fact, is it in the news? Surely it's fucking news. Like what's going live? What do we search today to see what's going live today? Have everyone got off? All the quant guys gone? Have you watched 2036 Origin Unknown on Netflix? Nah, they ain't Nonzo. What's that? Stop it. Go straight to Netflix, mate. Where's Netflix? Netflix. Oh, Netflix. Where's fucking Netflix on this? There we go. Getting that on my wish list. What is it called? Odge. May 2036. Origin Unknown. Why have they hid this from me? They've been hiding that from me. Add to my list. In fact, download. Can I download off Netflix now? Me. Sort of fucked up. Little tip. When you go camping out the way, if you're used to fishing and watching Netflix at night because you've got signal fishing, and you're going camping way out the way and you get there, you've got no signal to watch Netflix, just download a few things before you actually go. And then you can watch them when you get there. Interesting. I'm gonna watch that. What's it about? Working with an artificial intelligence to investigate the failure of a deadly Mars landing mission control. Ooh! Thank you for that. Blockchain Brad. I haven't seen any interviews about Quant or Overledger. Quant network update. Oh, there's a Gilbert one there, Brad. Is that the one you mean? Why Quant network will be massive, altcoin buzz. Yeah, that's the one you mean, Blockchain Brad. Quant network update, re-architecting the internet, Overledger. That's putting it a little different.
Are you ready to trade with
Are you ready to trade?
Trade on stock indices, forex, cryptocurrencies, and
for the Quant network, and Gil is here specifically.
An hour and a half. Decent length interview, that. Shall I share it in here? Shall I share a link? Oh shit, I turned the live chat off. Fuck's sake. It's not going to be on live chat that now, is it? Muppet. Morning, Bert. That's the link there to that Gilbert's interview with Blockchain Brad, I believe. I'll have a little ganders at that later. But for now, I'd love to know who Satoshi is. Trying to get back to what I was originally talking about before Quant. But I don't think we're ever gonna know, are we? Ever. Night Ghost, I want to be like Overledger, great addition, fucking enhances internet of data with internet of value, with the internet of goods and supply chain and trade finance, and brings it all together in a great operating system. That boom. But there's just not enough information there explaining to me that it's that good in that way. And they're coming along like, yo, if you don't have us, you're fucked. It's like, come on, bruh. What? Like, you need me. You know what I mean? Like, what? Who do you think you are? They're coming in like the Highlander, aren't there? There can be only one. Like, oh no. They can't. It's just, like I say, the main thing for me is the lack of other developers within the IOV space talking about Overledger the way they talk about themselves. Now, there's people talk about Ripple the way Ripple talk about themselves. Excuse me, do you know what I mean? Interledger, the same. Carver Labs. In fact, who's that guy? This is how epic it is. Let me find that guy. What is it? Interledger Switch. What did he make? Did he make Switch? I think it was Switch. Interledger Switch. Let's fucking trying to look here. Interledger. Oh no, go back, motherfucker. Carver Lab Switch swap. So Carver Labs, Switch, open source tech. Beats Fin message. Swap BTC Ethereum in seconds. Keep private keys safe. So he built that little app that does. And if you've ever seen it working, it's legit. And I mean legit. And Switch is an interledger wallet enabling lightning fast crypto swaps and complete self-custody of assets. Load funds onto cards, swap between them, withdraw at your leisure. Only you have access to these funds even while trading. You just download Switch, add your cards, and swap. Go for it. Non-custodial trading. And it's just that, it's just him. He built it. He built it. Do you know what I mean? Kincaid O'Neill. That is definitely not how you say his name. Guy's on Twitter with 136 followers. Like, hardly anyone. He's building Switch apps and that. Just for shits and giggles. Carver Labs. There's his Switch app. And Carver Labs. Now, if we go to Carver Labs, got 24 fucking K. Oh, 24K people's following that with a woot woot woot. You know, because they've got that sick app, that sick Switch app. Well, that sick Switch app was developed by my guy right there. Do you know what I mean? And we can even get it on and have a little look at it. When it decides to. There's XRP to Ethereum. Done. Like that. Through into Ledger. Good day, Steve. Only one meaning the operating system. Constant fucking saviour. Yeah. Quant needs to prove themselves because there are others that do the same. One's already changed, but Quant's apparently not doing value transfer, so what's it doing? What's Quant token actually doing? It's a license token. A license for what? To run the OS. To run the OS for what? Why do we need that? That's what I'm struggling with. Yes, Russell. How many projects over the last 4 years have come into blockchain crypto space? I'm going to change it forever. Fucking loads of them. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Forbes, it's not Forbes. Forbes seems to just let any fucker write for them. I don't know how you actually get to writing for Forbes, but it would seem that look, I mean that we was on it that's May 2009 with Bank XRP. And I'm like, I believe Kincaid is the developer behind the Switch app, IOV. Boom, fucking year ago, mate. Do you know what I mean? That was May last year. All these developers behind the scenes are just making IOV apps that flip value like that. And they don't do data transfer and shit because that's already done. If you build a DLT on Hyperledger and then introduce Orcodius XRPL and then build smart contracts on top of it, if them smart contracts haven't got value and are just data, they can already be sent between networks by the internet of data. Surely they don't need anything else. It's when that data becomes value and we're actually transferring value, which ILP covers. And like I say, most data in the future is going to be valuable. So the internet of data is going to transition and be swallowed by the internet of value anyway, in my opinion, because it's all about value in the future. Like in the future, I'm going to be able to go out into the back, grab a bit of wood, not that I can't do it now, but carve a bit of fucking wood and whack it on a marketplace. The difference is, at the moment, they guess the total value of the world from the derivatives to the products to the cash. In the future, through all the DLT ledgers and all the databases constantly tracked, they're going to know exact numbers of value. And the minute you add that spoon to the marketplace, the total value of the world goes up because you turned a twig into a spoon. Or you turned a fucking log into a rocking chair. Do you know what I mean? You get ingredients at a certain value, and them ingredients then get made into a fucking meal that you sell in a restaurant, even greater value. It's weird how it's all going to be tracked. I know it gets different when it's a consumable because the value disappears in the end, but so does it when a car gets scrapped, but the car just depreciates before it's scrapped. The meal was worth fucking 40 quid, and then bam, 5 minutes later it's gone. Like £40 gone. It's gone. Like that value's gone. Like it existed and it got fucking consumed. It's gonna be sick. Did Quant have to wait to do their ICO at all? Because they wouldn't have really been able to advertise it till a certain point, would they? Fiat on board for enterprise. So like I try and say, enterprise is basically throws most people off most of the time, but doesn't mean that you can't adapt it to work for you. Well, it says Quant is connecting the world's networks to blockchain with just 3 lines of code. Overledger is the world's first blockchain operating system. Overledger Net. Let's have a look at Overledger Net. The network of networks, scalable interoperability to unleash the true potential of blockchain. Find out how we've laid the foundations to interoperate DLTs and networks to create new ecosystems of value. They show that graphic like that, which everyone has their own version of. This is is this an IBM twin? And they're using Quant the way IBM had used XLM. Overledger 700 followers. SEC, the guy writing all them articles in it. DLT enthusiast and writer. Crypto second interoperability is key for DLT with future potential. Interesting, right? Comment. Sorry guys. So many people are thinking so small, getting trapped into thinking that it's going to matter what crypto you own. Yeah, people think there's a lot of value in the world now. They're not seeing fuck all yet till beyond 2025. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. You know, the rough timeline of when XRP security case got resettled. I got glued over. I can't believe it's still fucking going on. If it's still going on, that's just ridiculous to me. And for some reason, is likely the thing that's majorly holding it back. I don't even know. That's another thing. Don't really get. FinCEN classified it as a currency. So why is like every other body not agreeing? Why did they not ask the set back then when FinCEN was fining Ripple? Why has it come to now? There's already been a court case in 2015 with FinCEN when it was like, yeah, right, we'll fine you 400k or whatever it was, and it's a currency. You should have defined it as a currency before you sold some. That it was told 2015. So don't get all the FUD behind that SEC stuff. Overledger won't function without the token. It performs checks to validate a license is held to gain access to the operating system. So we need the token performs checks to validate my license to gain access to the operating system. Why do I need a license to gain access to the operating system? What's going to make me want to get the license to have access? The many benefits using a token compared to fiat, such as the security, immutability, and ensuring software licenses aren't pirated. It will be very common more and more software licenses to be placed on the blockchain. License for what? You're just saying license for using the operating system. Use it for what, man? Quick, somebody on the quant thing. Well, apparently there's a license token and there's an overledger operating system that's used to do everything other things can do. So, not quite sure. Unless it just pulls it all, like I say, it just pulls it all into one place or something. It's just for tracking, just for looking, just for browsing ledgers. Is that all it's for? Just for browsing ledgers? Ooh, like it's fucking. I don't know. I don't know, mate. Selling second-hand wooden spoons. Not second-hand, mate. Brand new. Brand fucking new, mate. Handmade. How dare you, Steve? Handmade wooden spoons from organic grass-fed trees. Soil-fed trees, sorry. Organic soil-fed trees made these fucking spoons. Yeah. These are proper spoons. AVG, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Word, Adobe, Hyperledger Explorer, XRP Scan, XRPL Explorer, Etherscan, Ethereum Explorer, all got their own explorers, like for traceability, and they've all got immutability protocols and all that. So saying that I need this other license for this operating system just doesn't fucking. It just, not gonna lie, like I say, there's no shame in saying you don't get it. I don't fucking get it. And not one person's brought it to me in a way where it's layman enough for me to then transfer it across to other people, because it's just fucking. You could run an XRP connector. I don't need quant. I don't need quant and overledger to run an XRP connector. I need the XRPL, my own server. Now, are you saying overledger's going to be the operating system I want on my home server? If you start putting it like that, we're going to get some. We might get a little somewhere. Like, yeah, Ollie, I'm trying to figure out like my true thoughts on it, mate. Like, at the moment, everything I've put out on Overledger is basically my speculation and opinion on what I've seen so far. It's not definitive. It's by any means. It's apparently the XRP volume on some payment corridors has crashed massively down to pay percent in the past few days. Again, apparently, have you looked? Someone like. Is anyone like was that's like what that's the fucking place for that, innit? The volume goes up and down a bit. Everyone's like, oh, it's dropped massively, it's done this, it's done that. Everyone's doing a video about fucking buyouts and all that stuff. And what's going live today? Someone tell me. Like I said before, Mike, on the surface, it does really seem like it has a little bit of potential, but then the more you break it down, you start asking yourself, well, what do I actually need it for? What do I actually need it for? Like, We're talking about a time, right, where we've all grown up with Microsoft or Linux on a PC. We've all grown up with Android or Apple on a phone. We've got used to our operating systems. It's not 2008 when iOS first comes out and we've got this new operating system for your smart mobile phones and all that, and everyone's just like, well, that's the one. Well, if you went on Android, you then had Android OS. What's this operating system going to run on? My phone, my desktop, my home server. Is it just the first of many new blockchain operating systems? And you'll have a choice of which ones to use. If you're going to start talking about dApps, right, let's have it right. Like, you can't have fucking apps from the App Store on a Nokia 3210, mate. Can't fucking do it. Not happening. Not happening. You need an operating system to make a fucking app, right? Now, is this Overledger the operating system that allows me to make a dApp? And if people don't run that operating system, they can't run the dApp. And then you'll have other operating systems that run their own apps, App Store, Google Play, Microsoft Store, and so on. Is that where you're coming from? Because then we start getting to somewhere where we can actually fucking explain it to people in a layman's way. And they're thinking, oh yeah, well obviously. So you're telling me that the current Android operating system won't run a blockchain dApp? Why have I not got my Samsung blockchain wallet in the UK yet? Like, I've still not that. I've got an S10. It's supposed to be blockchain capable. Not in my fucking country. What's it? Can I change the operating system on my phone to Overledger and start fucking running my phone as a proper blockchain compatible phone with extra security, extra privacy? Love this weekend's dip, so the lowest small coins on phone. What? Careful with that, Nonzo. You'll have people chasing you fucking down if you've got that much. Nice though. Overledger network. Yeah, Mnuchin. Steven Mnuchin. Steve Mnuchin and Mnuchin. He's been mooching. Sorry. Never do that again, Scott. Cheers, Hayes. Appreciate that, mate. What time's that on? Dude, you know? Like, could you have Apple OS and Android OS on the same phone? Overledger removes complexities of building applications on blockchain by writing an M app on Overledger. You can interact with any DLT at once or any network, meaning your application can read and write to Corda and Fabric simultaneously. So Overledger seems like it wants to become one of these wishes of blockchain, doesn't it? Use our system and we'll sort you out. Because I keep saying to everyone, like, once you build your home server, you need you'll need an OS on it to run it. Whether you choose Linux, whatever, you will need something on there to run it. And if you're not going to build your own operating system, I suppose Overledger is an option. At the same time, if it lets you easily build your own dApps and blockchain-based apps, I suppose that's another pro for it. Now, let's have it right. It doesn't mean you can't do all that with XRPL, building it on XRPL, your app and app, using Codius and Spring software development kits and Interledger software development kits. It doesn't mean you can't do that. You don't need Overledger. I still don't see how I need Overledger to do that. Why is Overledger the only one that can do that? It's just not, is it? And why would you want to write to Corda and Fabric simultaneously? Why would I want 2 simultaneous transactions? Why would I need Overledger to actually do that? Because the internet can send data to multiple locations simultaneously already. Apps can do that already, can they not? Certain forms of information. Email definitely being one of them. So try to break it down in my head and that. 2:30 Washington time. Washington. What's Washington's about 7 hours, 6 or 7 hours behind us, isn't it? So about 6:30, 7 tonight, maybe tea time, maybe a little earlier. So New York's 5 hours behind, innit? And Washington, in DC, is not that far. Not that far west of New York, really, is it? It's not Washington State. He's doing it in actual DC, and like, because Washington State is about fucking massive time difference there, isn't it? That'd be an interesting watch. Can you still hear the birds? Fuck off, I can't even hear the birds. It's a shit day. The songbirds aren't really out today. Oh damn, it's cold out there. Fuck that, get that door shut, Jesus. Yeah, I'm starting to think now. It's got me thinking about creating dApps and that. Why would me application want to send information to 2 places at the same time for one? And why do we need Overledger? Why can only Overledger do that? What's special about Overledger that's the only platform or operating system that actually allows that? Because you can't have that in. Trying to think like when you'd need it. Why do you even need to send to Corda and Fabric simultaneously? And why I need Overledger to do that? I can't just get someone to write a cheeky little line of code and API to multiple places and it can be done, can it not? Interesting. Let's see if
Invest as little as £1 in the world's leading companies completely free, only with Trading 212.
Trading is not for everyone, but if you are a trader, plus 500.
Yeah, specifically.
transfer of value and the fee. Overledger has trusted links with medical and military establishment. Won't take. But I'm being told it's not about the transfer of value. It's about when it's not the transfer of value. ILP transfers value. It's already doing it. Don't talk about some mythical fucking ledger that I can't even use yet. when there's a protocol there that's already doing it between multiple ledgers. There's an internet already sharing data. But now I just need to wait for this special overledger one before it all comes together. It's already all coming together without it. Like, so 1 minute it's not value, then it's value. Allow enterprise, governments, developers to build multi-chain applications that can read and write as many blockchain DLTs as you like all at once. So what makes Overledger the only platform that allows that? I don't understand what makes Overledger the only real platform that allows that.
So once again, thank you for your time, Gil. Now I want to get straight into the crux of Quant Network. Once again, we'll skip all of the fundamentals and what you are, because we've done that before, Gil. But I just wanted to do the update for the operating system itself of Overledger. That's the secret sauce that you have. Give us an update on how everything's going, how the quality of the tech, and what you're building so far.
Yeah, no, it's been going really well. So we set out to build the first versions of Overledger, and we did that all last year. This year has been enhancing it, and we've built a further version that works to the market, so what our enterprise clients want, and that has helped us also shape the Overledger network, because we've abstracted the architecture to be more modular and more flexible, and it's future-proofing how Overledger is going to be in the future. It's making it ready for the next stage. And we've been busy doing a lot of work and connecting. We did the test nets first, the internal test nets. We've now connected all the public test nets. So the Overledger community version has connectivity to, I think by the time this is published, but it'll be aired. We've done Ethereum, the public testnet, which is Rockston. We've also done Ripple, and so we're already connecting to Ripple today. We haven't announced it yet, but that will be by the time this thing is live.
Okay.
And we're also getting Bitcoin as well, and that includes then switching the testnet into mainnet. So all the community version, all the developers that are using Overledger community will be able to use all the live mainnets.
And what does that mean, Gil, to make that switch, mate, into mainnet? What does it mean for both your technology?
He just said all the developers using Overledger mainnet and that. Who are them developers? Does anyone know who they actually are?
Of Overledger and just of the Quant Network itself.
Are they on Twitter?
It means that everyone has choice, so you can actually start developing in a nice sandbox in an internal testnet, and you can do stuff, and there's a lot of enterprise clients that have been doing that with the current version. Then you can actually then switch to the public permissionless testnets, and so what it means, for the first time, you can take an internal Hyperledger and a Corda and an internal Ethereum, which is used for your enterprise or for your bank, and you're doing stuff. You can safely then connect that to the public permissionless blockchains through Overledger. So you don't have to go and spin up nodes and put all that stuff in your perimeter and do all the complex stuff of connecting, which is very difficult and very risk averse for enterprise. They will not go full blockchain nodes and everything within their corporate environments because of compliance, security, and risk. And so what we're allowing institutions and banks and enterprise to do is use their internal permission networks and allow them those blockchains to connect to the public permissionless blockchains safely. So they don't have to worry about all the complexity and all the rules. So it's kind of a world first, because they've been very hesitant to go public on permissionless blockchains. And we're allowing them to do that safely in a very controlled, secure manner through Overledger.
Right, and Gil, in that respect, if I can just jump in, what does it mean for institutional interest and for those parties to really integrate utilising technology like this? Because we hear the narrative every day about at some point there'll be more evidence empirically of institutions coming in. Are you part of that solution?
Yeah, we're shaping that, and we're giving institutional banks, financial institutions, access to different types of blockchains in the secure way that they're used to. And so I don't know if you've seen, but last week Santander did the first bond on the public Ethereum network. And
Yes, I saw that.
So I was speaking to John Whelan last week at Cybos about it, and he said that blockchain is here, the game has changed, and there's a lot more appetite to go
Could be, Steve.
permissionless blockchains today than there were a year ago, even 6 months ago. And it comes down to a few things. It gives them access to new markets, new customers, and new ways of doing things. But the institutional guys are getting the extra benefit of consensus across all the different nodes on a public blockchain, which they can trust. Whereas if you connect an internal to another internal, who controls the network, who's doing the nodes, who's doing the consensus, there's a lot of questions. But if you're putting it on a public permissionless blockchain, it number one has high availability. So Ethereum is always up. It may slow down, because of the crypto queues or whatever. Right. But from an availability perspective, you're always going to have a live network to write to, and that's added and with the consensus and the integrity on top. Right. It gives them the ability to do things. So Santander was one of the first publicly to do this, and they picked Ethereum for that reason.
I see. So, well, let's talk about some of the other public and permissionless systems or blockchains that you may be able to integrate in the future. Obviously, Gil, you're looking that direction for expansion because you are agnostic by design. You already mentioned some of those prominent first layer blockchains, but what's coming in the future for more scalable solutions that you can integrate with?
Yeah, so I mean, we're doing this based on market demand, and our view was always enterprise first. So we've solved interoperability for the private permission, the enterprise blockchain, the private permission blockchains. So we've done Hyperledger, Corda, Quorum, Ethereum, Ripple. So that's great for our enterprise customers because most of them use that. Mm-hmm. For the public ones, we started with the testnets, which is ROPS on Ethereum and the Bitcoin one. So we've done Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Ripple. And we're just adding the rest because we have connectivity to the 11 chains that we support. So we're adding more as we progress and as we evolve Ledger. So it just allows it's the network of networks. It allows everyone to pick and choose what you want: an internal one to talk to an external blockchain. You want Ethereum to talk to Quorum. You want Hyperledger to talk to Ripple. We can do all that today.
Right. Well, obviously it's expanding as well, Gil, given that, the possibilities for more to come, I would imagine. Let's move it back though to enterprise, because that is because you're fundamentally a business. Talk us through some of those key enterprise developments that you've made. Obviously there are significant partnerships that we have spoken about in the past.
Quant's fundamentally a business. So it's an entity, it's going to end up an entity incorporation that's in charge of its operating system. How decentralized is it? It just sounds like a Hyperledger. It legitimately just sounds like Hyperledger Greenhouse, but by one company. But again, I'm only 7 minutes into an hour and a half interview, and there's previous interviews and that. So
just to clarify to the listener, just how serious.
Clearly, I have to watch it all, and we'll watch the previous one as well.
Yeah. So for us, we have more enterprises approaching us because they've heard about us and they know about us, and we have a very healthy.
Where's all that in the public though?
We have client meetings almost every day, even if it's a new client or an inquiry or existing clients, and we're actively working on their engagements. So every day we're working on SIA, we're working on AX trading. So we're making digital assets and interoperability happen for the enterprise market, which is one of the biggest barriers they've had. And then tied to that,
he talks about digital assets and interoperability. Ledger Protocol does that. Every time he keeps saying that, mentioning value transfer between network to network, it's nothing ILP and Hyperledger can't already do. I don't understand why. I'm not getting it, mate, for some fucking reason. Just not seeing it. Not seeing what other people are seeing clearly. I have to go back. I have to just watch all them interviews, I guess. But you said he spoke to him before as well. That was 8 months ago. That. Buying something with BitTC price of XRP assets and with taxes in Ethereum, just example of Mark. You send XRP over ledger, internet, over ledger vendor receiving BTC plus tax. What? What? XRP don't need to go into Overledger to be flipped into any other currency. You don't need Overledger, Benjamin, and what. Buying something with a Bitcoin price with XRP, I don't want to buy fuck all with a Bitcoin price, mate. I'm going to buy something with a pound price. I'm going to buy something by the pound. And I might use XRP as a currency to do that. But if I'm going to spend a pound and I throw pounds in, but the person on the other end wants euro and someone wants to take pounds in taxes, Interledger Protocol does all that for me, mate. I don't need Overledger to do it. People are on currency now. They realise that in this chat, people have told me it's not about currency. Overledger does the beyond value, the non-fungible and all that fucking bullshit. And all of a sudden, it's down to currency transfer now. It's like, what? No, I thought it's not about currency settlement. It's like... Crypto Eddie's excited today. She's live. Or is that Twitter? Talk about Twitter or... It's on 5 hours ago. The power behind XRP 5 hours ago. Oh, damn, what you doing, Scott? Jesus flaming Christ.
Are you looking?
Mr. Cattell, Crypto XRP Fund, Silent Partners. Interesting. Benno, XRP, so... Oh, I need to go to the loo, me. I'm winding this down, I'm going to end it. And I'm going to go and watch... I'm going to watch my guy about quant, hear what he's saying. Try and hear what he's saying anyway. It's going over my fucking head at the moment. It's like someone tried to tell me I need an iPhone in my life. That's what I feel like. So I was like, I need an iPhone. You can't get on iTunes without an iPhone, mate. And I'm like, I don't need fucking iTunes. And I was like, yeah, but how'd you listen to your music? How'd you do this? How'd you do that? I'm like, bro, get fucked. I'll fucking download it direct online. Like, I don't need fucking iTunes, fucking SoundCloud bullshit. Spotify, I meant, not SoundCloud. SoundCloud's decent. Spotify, don't need all that shit. Got me Android. Got me music on me phone, direct, in fucking music files, MP3. Fucking iTunes and shit. Oh, you need an iPhone in your life, Scott. You're not going to be able to listen to iTunes. If not, you can't have iTunes. You haven't got an iPhone. I don't need iTunes, bro. I don't want an iPhone. I know, Miles, it's fucking hard, like, to get your head around what they're actually saying they've fucking done when interoperability is already there and has been since 2017. I mean, flaming hell. Version 4 last year or something on it. Do you know what I mean? I just don't... Again, they're not even, like... they need to be coming out saying we're gonna if they come out saying we're complimenting it, then fair enough. But they're like, we're the only ones who can do it. We're the world's first for interoperability. No, you're not. What you talking out your ass for? You're not the world's first for interoperability of value or data or goods or the fucking. You missed the shipping container, bro. Right? You missed the fucking lot. Yeah, you've not broke it. No. It already exists. I'm surprised like what the patent is. I have to have a look at the overledger patent because that's clearly must have something unique. I mean, is there an interledger patent? People even care about fucking patents anymore. They just care that something fucking works and I can trust it. Excuse me. Does it work? Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, it works. Yeah, build some trust. Yeah, trust it. Sweet. Don't need to see a pattern. I don't give a shit. It's a weird one. I'm going to look deeper though. I'll keep looking. Hopefully one day the penny will just drop. But at the moment, not that it's not a good thing. Not that it can't assist the Internet of Value and the tracking of information and data and databases and all this other shit. But is it needed? I'm not too sure. I don't need Sky to get Sky Movies. I've got Virgin and it has Sky Movies on it. We've not got Sky in our house. We've got Sky. Don't need Sky. And people need to put it in perspective. There's countless amounts of platforms and softwares and that out there that we could use, but we don't need them. Coming out of their closet like that with your cock out saying, listen, you need me, bruh. You need me. That's arrogance on the next fucking level. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, I might go and have a check of Crypto Eddie's recent video. I'm only seeing one from 5 minutes ago, unless she went live and it's now processing. Seeing one from 5 hours ago, sorry, not 5 minutes. I need a piss. Exactly, I was on Fire Stick and the access. Is blockchain going to make that illegal? Is that file value? That file, if a file moves about from fucking between an Amazon stick and another fucking Amazon stick and that, can you send someone a movie from your Amazon stick to another stick? Or would you have to upload it to the TV and send it through the TV, or even send it to your drive and do it through your laptop? If you imagine a piece of data moving that has just half a penny of value, that's a microtransaction of value. You're moving value in an internet of value. We can already move data that has no value, even though it has value. We just lied to. We just made to believe it doesn't really have value, even though we know it has value, and yet we're still not being paid for it yet. Fucking ridiculous. About time that changed. Pirate size won't be needed because you'll pay pittance to watch and listen. I'll happily pay platforms per second. I think the cinema should die. Like, why go cinema? Fucking no fucking point. I mean, keep them open if you can afford to for people who want to go. Why the fuck should I go and pay a tenner and a tenner to get in with a shit seat? More if you want a box. And then the food costs a fucking bomb. Do you know what I mean? When I can just sit at home and stream it and pay per second while I watch it. Once I've stopped watching it, I'm done. The world's got to change. Just make something, put it online and let people pay for it as they watch it. Make your platform, let people pay it as they come on it. It's legit. Buy fucking paid adverts, all getting paid for our data. Legit that. I'm down for the world like that. And anyway, it's breakfast time, guys. Overledger is more like a bridge, any to any. You talking about Interledger, mate? W3C already in control of it and shit. That's just Interledger. It's seriously, Benjamin, like, people tell me to look into it and do more research, and all they're doing to me is explaining into ledger as over ledger as if it's the same shit. It's hard to get my head round, but yeah, I really need a piss. So, you know the dance, guys. Wishing health and happiness to you and yours. Not a bad day today. Not a bad day. Have a good week. Letting the cat out this week, I think, to see how he does. See if he comes back in, but we'll find out. But we'll keep looking into quant till I got definitive fucking answers of some of the developers and shit. Because the developers I'm asking at the moment, not quite giving that good of information away, to be honest. It's not that positive in Overledger's point of view, because none of them are really using it yet that I speak to. So, and they're building the internet of value. So it's I put him out last night on the lead, this morning, Boo, on the lead, took him out there onto the deck here. He ran back in the house, shit his pants, he's a little shit bag. So I think we're just going to leave the door open and let him go out at his own time. I don't think he'll go out for the right few days till it's sunny, to be honest. But we're going to start like leaving the door open now and then and see if he goes for it. He's too scared to go out at the moment. We're just testing the water with him. Cheers, Sean, appreciate it. Not everyone uses Mac OS, Windows, or Linux. Nonetheless, they need to communicate between them. Same things apply to enterprise. But again, Benjamin, yeah, and an ILP and Hyperledger and everything have already built. They've already built the frameworks to implement that kind of interoperability. It's done. Like I say, the W3C's picked it up. ILP, chosen protocol, just like they picked up internet protocol, and you now have an IP address. You'll have like devices will have ILP addresses in the end. It's coming, mate. ILP links anything to anything. This is why we say payments by anyone using anything of value, sending it to anywhere in the world, and the settlement happens like that. The only thing you need then is if it's a digital asset, that's moved like that. If it's a physical asset, that then needs to be sent there logistically, which will then also be tracked on the blockchain until it arrives, at which point the money's probably held in escrow because the product's got to get there first, or there'll be insurance regulation on how it's going to actually be insured while it's being moved. Extremely interesting, but we'll pick it back up, no doubt we'll pick it back up, and you have a good week. We love crypto, we love XRP. We'll try to get there with Quant and Overledger. It's hard. We love ILP and we love you. Peace out.